Berry up the middle, 35. Cuts to the right, 30. Cuts it back over the middle, 20. To the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Holy mackerel. He's done it again.
Chicken cheese!
Oh, how cute, a little Barry Sanders. Look at you. I don't think so. Hey, Barry, this is Detroit. You didn't think you'd get any candy dressed like that this year, did you? Barry up to the races, 30, 20, 15, 10, they'll never get it. Touchdown, Lions!
Man, that guy's unbelievable.
I'm glad he's retired.
You got that right.
Hey, kid, now that's a scary costume.
Just make sure you stay retired.
Detroit, Michigan on a bewitching night in the Motor City, and 45 miles north, the Pontiac Silverdome, where a festive crowd hopes its treat, not trick, as the hometown Lions host the Tampa Bay Bucks. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, along with Joe Theismann and Paul McGuire. It's great to have you with us. The Detroit Lions are one of the early season surprises in the NFL. At 4-2, they're tied for first place in the NFC Central, and that's without the retired Barry Sanders or the injured Herman Moore. Facing that kind of adversity, a lot of people thought they would fold up. Instead, Joe, they have thrived.
For a long time, Barry Sanders has been synonymous with the Detroit Lions. It's been Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions. We expected to see the great runs, and then we expected Barry to win the game. Well, in his absence, the team has risen to the occasion, and in particular, Charlie Batch, the young quarterback, has become the leader. He's poised and he's accurate, and he's going to have to be tonight because the Bucs bring the #1 run defense into this game. He's going to have to make some big plays in the passing game, Mike, and for the first time in 10 years, the Detroit Lions are more than just a one-man show.
The Tampa Bay Bucks are 6 games into their NFL season, and it's a crossroads in time for head coach Tony Dungy. For all 54 games under his tenure as head coach, Trent Dilfer has been his starting quarterback. But, Paul, after last week's miserable offensive performance when they got only 6 points, they're going in a different direction, and now it's Eric Zeier in control.
Michael, this team is too good to have a 3-3 record. They have an excellent running game, and their defense has only allowed 1 touchdown after the first quarter in the last 7 games. So, Tony Dungy changed to Eric Zeier. And when we talked to Eric Zeier yesterday, he said it's very easy. He says, don't turn the ball over, and when it's time to make a play, step up and make the play.
All right, Paul, Zeier will get plenty of help on both sides of the ball with running back Mike Allstott and NFL sack leader Warren Sapp. They're next on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Down to the sideline, our colleague Solomon Wilcots with head coach Tony Dungy.
Thanks, Mike. Tony, Eric Zeier gets the start, but what do you expect to get from Eric Zeier that you didn't get from Trent Dilfer?
Well, hopefully we're going to get some things going in the passing game. That's where we need to make the improvement, and we hope Eric can give us a spark.
Now, with Barry Sanders retired, I know you slept a little bit better this week, but in his absence, how does that change things for you defensively?
Well, we'll be able to game plan for a regular team rather than game planning for Barry. But I tell you, Detroit's playing great. I think Charlie Batch has done a great job, and we got to get some pressure on him.
All right, Tony, thanks for the time. So Tony Dungy is 1-5 against the Detroit Lions. With Barry Sanders in the lineup with a win tonight, the Bucs can move into a second-place tie in the NFC Central Division. Mike?
All right, Solomon. Coming up, it's the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Bucks on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Set to go from the Pontiac Silverdome. On Halloween night, it may look like we're in Oakland, but this is Halloween in Detroit.
Now it doesn't look like Oakland.
The Lions have won the toss. Martin Gramatica has it teed up at the 30-yard line, and Terry Fair with 2 touchdown returns last year against the Bucs. He had one of 105 yards for a score, the longest in 20 years. We are underway in Pontiac. Fair from the 7. Up near the 30. The Lions offense is run by Charlie Batch, remarkably poised for a second-year quarterback. His passer rating 6th in the NFC. Behind him, Hill and Schlesinger. The receivers, Morton and Jermaine Crowell, who leads the club in catches and yards. Sloan is the tight end. The front line has been changed repeatedly by injuries. Tonight they'll have Roberts, Semple, Compton, Hardings, and Barrett Brooks, who won the right tackle job in the last 2 weeks. Play action by Batch. Sloan! And he got it in Bucs territory. What a catch.
Well, they started out, Joe, with 3 tight ends, and David Sloan is one of them. Raspy and Kriplevich is in there. But look at Sloan. He breaks and goes back to the outside. This is just a terrific catch. Look at the concentration. Comes down with the ball. I don't know if I might question that or not. Look at this. Does he get down? There's right foot, left foot. He's down. That's a good catch.
And this is the first season of his 5-year career he has been healthy enough to run that way, because he can get downfield.
Well, we may have a challenge here.
Tony Dungy is about 0 for 1999 in challenges. He's one of the few guys who has not benefited from the new rule.
Tampa Bay is challenging the completed catch in the sideline. We'll review the play.
And that's odd because it's right in front of their bench. They had a good look at it. The replay shows he's clearly in.
Well, he'd rather have 2nd down and 10. Watch his see his left foot hits, his right foot is dragged. Now, maybe they could see the right foot. I think it's not going to be very visible unless we get this picture. There's one foot. I think the other one hits down.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good catch. He does have possession and control when that foot hits the ground.
The left foot is really not in question. It is the right foot. The left foot is down, and the right one is up in the air. Does he have control of the ball when the right foot is down? That is the whole thing. And if it's inconclusive, which we've seen so many times.
We had the situation in the Green Bay Tampa game we did a few weeks ago where Tony challenged right away on Brett Favre's knee being down. We thought for sure it was down when we looked at the replay. The official did not.
Each coach gets 2 challenges per half. If the challenge is not upheld, you lose a timeout. So they would blow a timeout in the first 35 seconds of the ball game.
So, and I'm correct here that they get all of our replays. They get a chance to look at everything.
What everybody's going to see is what the official is going to see.
The question is now, does he have control of the ball? His left foot is down. Does his right foot, when his right foot comes up right away?
No, but his right foot hit the ground. Absolutely. That's going to be a catch. I would be surprised if they overrule it. It's a little hard to see it because Abraham blocks him in this angle.
But he certainly had control, and it appeared both feet easily down. They have 90 seconds to review. Here's Larry Nemmers.
The play stands as called on the field. The receiver did get both feet inbounds and control the ball. It's first down for Detroit. Tampa Bay is charged with their first team timeout.
Tony may not be voting for this system next year. It hasn't worked for him.
Well, Larry's trying to say, Tony's trying to say to Larry, what did you see? What did you see that I didn't see?
Here it is. Does he, you look at, does he have control now? Because if he has control now, which he does. He's bringing the ball in. He's got in both hands. That's a catch.
Larry, come here. Get over here, Larry.
What is he 0 for how many now?
Well, he's 0 for 2 with us.
He's 0 for 4 this year, and that's a big play for the Lions to start with. They're already in Tampa territory, 1st and 10. That's changing the play.
He may try and get this ball out quick to Johnny Moore.
Instead, it's the Stabline for a gain of maybe 2 or 3. Up front for the Bucks, great talent. Ahana 2, Culpepper, Warren Sapp, the NFL sack leader with 7, and White. The backers are extremely quick. Quarles, Nickerson, Derek Brooks, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week for his brilliant play against Chicago. The secondary has Abraham, Barber, John Lynch, who crushes runners and has become a much better cover man, and Robinson. Warren Sapp down 40 pounds from a year ago, much quicker, and back to his Pro Bowl form. Being double teamed, back straight down the middle, incomplete, intended for Crowell.
You see that the Lions start on offense, throwing the ball 3 straight times. When they had Barry Sanders, guaranteed at least 2 of 3 of those calls by Sly Kroom would have been runs. And really, the big plays are going to have to come out of the passing game for the Detroit Lions. They realize that. Even though Herman Moore is out, Crowell looks like he's a guy who can get down the field, and Johnny Morton has been a solid guy who can get down the field as well. And Batch has handled this offense extremely well in his 2nd year.
We've seen Sloan with the ability to get downfield as well. Batch under pressure from Sapp. Got away. On the run, incomplete. Stabline had it hit him right in the chest.
And that is a new formation for the Detroit Lions. They've just broken it out. It's a shotgun. Charlie Batch likes it, and this is one of the ways that Bobby Ross has changed. He's let his players have a little input. Charlie does a nice job of scrambling. This ball has got to be caught. Hits him right between the 8 and the 3, and he just puts it on the ground.
John Jett comes on to punt. That would have been a 28-yard gain. Jaquez Green back to receive. Makes the fair catch inside the 10, the 36-yard punt, and no return. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have the ball when we come back to Pontiac. Only Brett Favre has been more durable as a starting quarterback and been able to keep his job that long. He is 2nd team tonight behind Eric Zier. Zier on 1st down, complete to the 18-yard line. For the Bucs offense, a new man at the controls, Eric Zier, an accurate passer who makes few mistakes. He has played just 1 quarter this year, though. The backs are Dunn and Mike Allstott, the battering ram, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. The receivers, Anthony, Green, and Moore. Up front, an excellent run-blocking group with Gruber, Diaz, Tony Mayberry, the first Tampa Bay lineman ever to the Pro Bowl, Middleton, and Wunsch. Second in the yard, Allstott dragging people with him to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. The Lions defense up front has Porcher, James Jones, the free agent who has drawn rave reviews for his play, Ellis and Scroggins. The linebackers, Aldridge, Stephen Boyd, a terrific run stopper who's just coming back from an injury, and the rookie Claiborne. The secondary has Bailey, Fair, Rice, and the veteran Mark Carrier, the only defensive back in this decade with 10 interceptions in a single season. Porcher lining up, ready to come after the quarterback, and they got there. Zier sacked for the first time. Scroggins and Porcher make a quarterback sandwich.
Well, you can't block him with a tight end. You're going to go with Haight, and he can't block him, number 82. You put Porcher out on the outside. Look at Haight. He just moves him to the inside. He's already gone. It's over.
And here comes Scroggins on the other side. This is where 2 ends. This is where you get your bookend ends. Get back to the depth of the quarterback and make hard left turns.
The Lions have been terrific on defense in the last 3 ball games. Each of the defensive ends will get a half a sack. Zaire in trouble again. To the sideline and out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Porcher chasing him.
Robert Porcher. Now this time he takes on the tackle. Lunch. Watch this. Porcher. Boom. And now he just lifts him up and takes him right back to the quarterback. He throws once into the quarterback. Zaire has to move.
Porcher coming into this ball game, 4.5 sacks, started the weekend 8 in the conference. Had a career high 12.5 in 97. He is relentless from the left end. 3rd and 11. 3 wide receivers. Zaire throws short to Warwick Dunn. But Warwick gang tackled, led by Corwin Brown, did not have a chance to get to the first down marker.
I like the way Mike Shula started this with Eric Zaire, though. Even though he got sacked, it's going to take him a little while to get into the flow of the game. So you run a few plays, you let him throw a few short passes and get his rhythm going.
Mark Royals to kick to Ahani Owezike, picked up as a free agent from San Francisco. Angled toward the sideline and out of bounds by Royals. Nice kick. 45-yard punt and no return. 9 minutes, 58 seconds to go. First quarter, scoreless in Detroit. Detroit, Michigan on Halloween night. 0-0 first quarter. Bucks and the Lions from the Silverdome. First run tonight, Hill. Half a yard, perhaps. The Lions really short on running back. Sanders' retirement, then the injury to Ron Rivers, and you have to feel so badly for Rivers, who waits his entire career to get a shot. Had played well, averaging over 4 yards a carry. Now they're down to Hill and the rookie Irvin, and perhaps Brock Olivo to come in as a running back. Irvin is now checked into the ballgame on 2nd and 9. Schlesinger, the fullback, powers his way up near the 25.
Why this many yards on 2nd down is critical to the Detroit Lions, because they now have a chance to dictate to the Bucs defense. The Bucs like to play with their corners close to the wide receivers and their safeties back. What Sly Kroom will be able to do now is, if he wants to run something against the with his wide receivers, you don't think they're going to, I wouldn't think they're going to be in cover 2 or too deep. So you're going to have pretty good one-on-ones outside.
3rd and 5. Stabline is the slot receiver. That's incomplete. Donnie Abraham over the top. A heck of a defensive play intended for Stabline.
Boy, I'll tell you, this was a great play by Abraham. Donnie Abraham, you talk about timing this thing perfectly, and there were enough officials around. Watch this. Stabline's going to come up and sit. When he does, watch this break on the ball. Boom, the ball is there. He gets his hand around. He didn't touch him, got his hand around.
Abraham, a tremendous corner, a big hitter for a guy who's an excellent cover man. Jaquez Green backs up to the 28. Tremendous speed. Can't get to the corner, cut down at the 32. Ron Rice, the starting strong safety, made the tackle on special teams. A return of 4 after a 47-yard punt. 3. That's a big one.
There he is.
Somebody call the exterminator.
Paul, they got that one out of your house, didn't he?
He came out of a new house they just bought in Charleston.
Bucks start from the 32. Ward Dunn. Great cut by Dunn, and there's another one. He'll pick up 8 yards to the 40.
You know, when we talked to Warwick Dunn yesterday, and Joe, you asked me, you're averaging 2.9 yards. Why? One of the reasons why is because no one respected the pass on this team. So they put 8 or 9 men in the box. And when you look at this play here, they've got it stopped about here. And then Warwick Dunn breaks the tackle and picks up 8 yards.
And then if you want to send somebody to block Robert Bourget, send Mike Allstott. He's big enough to get a body in from him, if for nothing else but to turn him.
Zaire to throw on 2nd and short, too high for Jaquez Green. Joe, Zaire says he's one of those slow starting quarterbacks. I reference back to what you said about Mike Shula.
Right.
Give him a couple of easy throws to get in the game. If you're a slow starter, how long does slow take?
2 series.
Okay.
I think Mike Shula will have Eric Zaire in the rhythm he wants in 2 series. Now, you know, you had 2nd down and 2. Now you've got 3rd and short. I don't think there's any question what's going to happen on this play. I'd be surprised if it's anything but 5 receivers.
Well, did you escape that, baby? I knew you were going to run with Allstott.
I like to open it up. Give him something different.
5 men in the pattern. Zaire in trouble. Dumps it for Warwick Dunn, and he is stopped shy of the 45-yard line, but it's going to be a 1st down. Chris Claiborne on the coverage in a scramble by Zaire.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive linemen cannot block one-on-one the 4 rushmen of the Detroit Lions. If they go one-on-one with those guys, Eric Zaire is going to be under this kind of pressure all night. He goes back, does a nice job of improvising. You've got to make some kind of a play. Good job by Warwick Dunn getting out in front of him and giving him some place to get the football to.
And even though Dunn's carries have been down, he's caught more passes this year. Dunn on the draw and didn't have a chance to get out of the backfield because Mark Carrier was right there. There's a marker down on the play, however. Carrier may have crossed the line before the snap. Carrier, the 10-year veteran, former #1 pick of the Chicago Bears.
Illegal hands to the face. On the defense, number 57. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
That's Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker, who they have missed as a great run stopper.
When you look at the Detroit Lions, you're looking at a classic example of not respecting a pass at all. All they're doing is teeing off. They're going right back. And if they're going to run the ball in the meantime, let's just hit somebody on the way back to the quarterback. They're not wasting any time.
I think if you're the Bucs, you have to run some play action and throw the ball deep at some point.
Dunn tries to sweep, cuts it back off tackle. Warwick Dunn to the 36-yard line, a gain of 14.
Or give the ball to Warwick Dunn going off to the outside.
Well, it didn't start outside. What it is it's an inside running play that he bounces through the hole.
Watch this. Now, they're all blocking down. Diaz, number 64, gets an excellent block. They kick out with Haight, the tight end, and Dave Moore, the tight end. And Warwick Dunn just cuts it inside for like 11 yards.
Dunn already 2 carries for 22 yards. He's caught 13 yards worth as well. Play action by Zaire. Steps up in the pocket and throws. Wide open. The catch made by Anthony. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with the matchup of top teams in the AFC. Eddie George and the Tennessee Titans head to Miami to battle Zach Thomas and the Dolphins. Join Joe, Paul, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. A pair of 6-1 teams squaring off next Sunday night on ESPN.
You think the Titans like having a home finally?
I think they must. Dunn tries to cut it back, got as much as he possibly could out of it, diving inside the 25.
Looks like we had a potential Barry Sanders, I'm going to juke around a little bit type of beginning there.
Warwick Dunn started off a house of fire, the Heisman Trophy winner, 4.4 yards a carry as a rookie, slightly declined last year. The Heisman contender, but way down this year, simply because, as Paul said earlier, nobody respected the pass and had 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, sometimes even 9. Dunn again. Pritchett and Boyd get him as he reaches the 20. It'll be 3rd and 5.
I think there's one other factor that has resulted in a lower per carry average for Warrick Dunn. His longest run this year is just 29 yards. Last year he had at least a couple over 50. He had 3 or 4 over 40. And you don't see those. You haven't seen those types of runs for the reasons that Paul brought up. You're not going to break them when you got so many people around the line of scrimmage.
Well, he also said that, Trent Dilfer is not completely at fault for what's happened to the offense. We all have to step it up.
And now Zaire needs a timeout. He wants to talk about it on 3rd and 5. That is Tampa Bay's second timeout in the half. Most consecutive games for a head coach using the same quarterback. You can't say that Tony Dungy has not been patient with Trent Dilfer. 54 games in a row, and that is 4th on this list. George Allen, Sam Rutigliano, and Joe Gibbs with our own Joe Theismann.
Well, how about Joe Gibbs? Was he patient with Theismann or what?
No, he got some credit.
I could, there's like 4 or 5 games, I'd have yanked him.
He tried to get rid of me after the first 5.
Dilfer would look so good one week and then come apart the next, and Tony Dungy finally ran out of patience. 3rd and 5. Darnell McDonald will check in as the 3rd wide receiver.
This is what I said at the beginning, Mike, about Zaire. When he has to step up and make a play, this is when he has to do it now.
Under pressure, they're going to whistle this one dead. He did not get the play off in time. And that after a timeout. Well, it's tough to get a delay after you've had all that time to talk about it.
Part of the problem you run into, as Mike Shula calls the play in, it's the communication from a coordinator to the quarterback. That's still new also.
Thank you.
That is new also, the communication. So if those words don't come rolling out of your mouth quickly, it eats up time. There's no excuse for a coordinator and a quarterback to take a delay of game after a timeout.
Quarterbacks coach Clyde Christensen looking on. It's now 3rd and 10. He's the guy who has to help smooth the transition between Dilfer and Zaire. High snap, blitz, done in the flat. Second effort will get him only a couple, 3 yards shy of a first down. Claiborne and Carrier made the stop.
Zaire took a shot.
And he did a good job of getting the ball off. They've got a free runner coming around on the outside. He still manages to get the ball off.
You have a free runner. Watch this. Zaire throws, and then he gets nailed.
Oh,
yeah, but that's Lamar Campbell. He's only a corner. They're supposed to come up wincing when a corner hits you.
Excuse me. When you get a free shot.
Still, they're corners. They weigh as much as you do.
his helmet weighs the same, and that's what hit him. Martin Gramatica on to try from 36 yards out. And blocked. The Lions will get away from it. It looked like Ron Rice, number 28, the man who came through to stuff it. It hasn't gone right for Tony Dungy yet tonight. Ron Rice blocking a 36-yard field goal attempt. Both of these defenses have played most of this year. Special teams may make the difference, and Ron Rice with a huge play and a field goal block. Greg Hill, the tailback behind Batch, as they start at their own 26. Hill, the former Chief, picks up 6 to the 32. Joe, you don't see that many blocked field goals.
Well, you don't. What happens, we'll show you on the Super Straighter. You see Ron Rice, what he's going to do, he's going to go right through there. He's going to have an opportunity, have a clean shot, and you'll notice he takes the proper angle. He goes inside. They have too many people. He doesn't try and swat it. He just puts his hands up. That's the way you block kicks.
And even though the ball rolled into the end zone, it's spotted back at the 26 because it's the spot of the field goal try. Hill leans forward, slammed by Derek Brooks as he got out to the 28.
And I sitting here watching this Tampa Bay defense, The guy comes in yesterday, Warren Sapp, and he sits down. And one of the first things he tells us is, all the offense has to give us on defense is 14 points. You give us 14 points, we win the football game.
I would love to see what this defense could do with the lead. That's why they don't have many interceptions. They're always playing from behind. They're playing close.
That's to throw on 3rd and 2. Sloan, first down at the 46. Sloan is becoming a huge weapon, 6'2", 260.
Charlie Batch has found himself a safety blanket. His name is David Sloan, the tight end. Does a good job of getting his head around, looking the ball in, and giving him a big target.
All right, watch the block here on Warren Sapp. Now, this is one-on-one on Warren Sapp with Simple. He just takes Warren Sapp to the inside. If he wants to go there, I'll take you there.
Sloan had 3 touchdown catches last year. That was most for a Lions tight end in 14 seasons.
Here comes the blitz. Whoa.
Hill. John Lynch. You do not get away from John Lynch.
You know what's amazing about this play with John Lynch? Now, we sat with John Lynch yesterday talking to Lynch. And he said, you know, before it was me, and all these guys would take a gap. They would all do something, and I have to get Barry Sanders. Now, it's going to be a lot easier. Watch number 47. Everybody takes a gap. They're blitzing up front. And then you're going to see Lynch, number 47. His man is the ball carrier on Hill. Bang. And he makes the hit. Once he makes contact, Hill doesn't get another yard.
He is a wicked tackler. Batch under pressure. Dropped. Hill had a shot at it at midfield and then took a rip in the back from Brooks. Charlie's mother, Lynn, settles, and he says it is a great comfort to him to have her at a ball game. He has always finds out where her ticket is so he can look up in the stands and get some support from her, the kind of support she's given him his entire life.
Well, he says, when I look up and I see that smile on her face, I know everything's okay.
Batch hit his first 2. He's only 1 out of the last 5. And now faces 3rd and 9.
Here they come.
Blitz on low. Morton. Lynch will get him, but not until he reaches the 35. They beat the blitz for a gain of 18. The last play of the first quarter, a big one for the Detroit Lions. They're back in Buccaneer territory. We're sick and we're back.
Ooh.
It's Halloween in Detroit. What was the best Halloween costume you ever had?
Me? I went as Adam. We were very poor. I couldn't afford anything. I just went as Adam.
Did you wear a diaper?
No, I just went as Adam.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, in the league.
No kidding. I just as a bum. As a bum.
Was that at Notre Dame?
That was
A what?
a bum.
Who's
No,
your friend?
A bum or a bump?
Whoa. Hi there.
There's a guy dressed up like
This guy
Joe.
is not eating well at all. So what?
That nice play fake. Then hit from behind by Chidi Hanatu and sacked at the 39-yard line.
Play action fakes and passes are designed for you to make the fake, and if you're going to have to go down the field, you've got one place to go, you have to get it off. Watch the coverage. There's the play fake to Hill. Got a lot of people back. When you've got linebackers that can get that deep, like a Hardy Nickerson, you just can't take advantage of the middle of the football field.
Cedric Irvin, the rookie out of Michigan State, the new tailback behind Schlesinger. Irvin on the draw. Nice block by Schlesinger, but Irvin can't reach the 35-yard line.
You know, Joe, you just mentioned it. When you look at this defense, they are so quick. Fast is also good, but these guys are quick. I mean, it looks like there is a hole for about a half second, and then it all closes.
I don't believe there's another defense in the National Football League that has their front seven with this kind of lateral speed. You can't run tosses. You have to run at this defense because they'll chase everything down.
3rd and 10. Four-man rush. Batch has to step up. Throws short. Morton makes the catch to the 29-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down and a field goal try from Jason Hansen.
Jason Hansen. This is the best kicker in the game.
I think so. He has just done such a magnificent job, not only long range but short range, and inside 50 has the best percentage in NFL history.
When he puts his arms up, I like to see a couple of wires come down and just pick them up and lift them to the ceiling. Watch this. Watch this form, folks. This is beautiful.
Ready? Here we go. The force is with me right in the middle.
Right down the pipe. Hansen from 47 yards would have been good from 55. He's 12 out of 13, and the Lions score first. Night. It has just been gorgeous weather up here, and the Lions fans enjoying a 3-0 lead. Yo Murphy is the deep man. First-year man out of Idaho has returned only 3 kicks this year. Hansen, tremendous weapon, puts him 3 yards deep. And Yo will take a knee. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solomon.
Yeah, Mike, after setting their clock back last night, the whole city of Detroit not only woke up well-rested, but they also received some good news. In the paper today, they announced that November 16th will be the groundbreaking for their new $300 million stadium that will be in downtown Detroit, right next to the Tigers' new stadium. Now, the 65,000-seat stadium, well, it is set to begin open in the year of 2002, but there is one minor detail. They still need to strike an agreement to terminate their lease agreement with the Pontiac Silverdome, which runs through the year 2004.
But thank you, Solomon. They don't think that's going to be a real problem, as Boyd is a real problem for Allstott. Got him around the ankles. William Clay Ford, the owner of the Detroit Lions. And he will enjoy that new stadium when it's built, but they have done a good job here. 65,000 here tonight in an 80,000-seat stadium.
No, being around here, is John Bill Ford, but being around here in Detroit, these people don't believe these guys are 4-2.
No, they don't. Not without Barry Sanders
or
and
Herman
not with
Moore.
Herman Moore injured.
They better.
They're trying to go 5-2. Zaire. Jaquez Green. J.B. Brown never got his head around. The ball whistled right past his helmet for a completion.
And you could say that if Eric Zaire got some more air under this, Jaquez would still be running towards the end zone. You see him, he's the outside receiver. J.B. Brown's on him one-on-one. This is not a fair match. The ball is underthrown a little bit, but they got a big play out of the passing game. This is what Eric Zaire has to do. You mentioned it in the open, Paul. He's got to make plays when he gets the chance. There is a case of one of them.
Longest catch of the year for Green, 38 yards. Dunn on the delay. Cut down at the 40 after a gain of 2. Kelvin Pritchett.
I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are really running on a fine line. They have been defined as a running football team. That's their temperament. That's their identity. Now all of a sudden you're starting to infuse a little bit more of a wide-open attack. We've seen 5 receivers. We've seen them spread themselves out. I don't think they can totally get away from what they do well, and that's run the football.
I don't think they want to get away from it. But they've got to hit the pass plays when they have a shot. Zaire wants the screen to Warwick Dunn. Claiborne got a hand on him, but he is inside the Detroit 30 to the 28. It's a first down.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Frank Middleton, number 73, comes back and hits James Jones, number 98. Watch Middleton, 73. You want to see a peel back? Middleton is the center. Watch what he does. You'll see him in the middle of your screen. Watch this move. He comes back. Bam! Down goes Jones. Dunn goes up. Boy, that's nice.
Out of 17 plays so far, Warwick Dunn has touched the ball 9 times for the Bucs and has 60 yards in total offense. Zaire with good protection throws to Haight. He's hit immediately and dumped for a short gain by the rookie Chris Claiborne, the Butkus Award winner out of USC. When Claiborne came in to be able to play the weak side, it allowed them to shift Alan Aldridge to the strong side, the former Denver middle linebacker, much more suited to that role. And with Boyd in the middle, this is an underrated and I think one of the best group of linebackers in the NFL.
And I think their defensive coordinator, Larry Peccatello, is one of the best in the league as well. Just doesn't get the recognition.
Zaire under pressure, and they got him back at the 34. Luther Ellis and Scroggins came from the outside.
This, I'll tell you what, this is a coverage sack.
Larry Peccatello loves to rush 4 or 5 guys.
Well, he wants to hit Jacquez Green, number 81. But look at the coverage on the outside. Jacquez has no place to go. Bailey is with him.
And here comes Scroggins, just working, continuing to work against Paul Gruber. What they're doing is they're keeping Eric Zaire in the well, they call it, in the pocket, and that's where they want him to stay.
3rd and 16. Straight 4-man rush. Zaire can't find anybody. Underneath to Warwick Dunn.
And, Joe, you look at this defense and you look at Detroit back there. They're going to give you all that under stuff you want. You've got 3rd and 16. You want to throw an 8-yard pattern or a 5-yard pattern? Go right ahead.
Now on 4th down, they'll send in Gramatica, who had his first one blocked.
The snap was high on the first one. Trying to help the guy out.
I think for any kickers, though, once you get one blocked, unconsciously, you know, Ron Rice was in there quickly. Unconsciously, you have to be careful not to speed the mechanism up.
Got a tremendous leg, and Gramatica knocks it through. Just like Hansen would have been good from a lot further out. We're tied at 3. Simultaneously experience tonight's game on television and online. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com and click on the enhanced TV logo. And very shortly, we will take you live to the internet.
Terry Fair's going to get it.
Not on the kickoff. Oh, wait your turn.
I'd have missed anyway.
Taken by Brock Olivo, one of the upbacks, and he crosses the 25 to the 27. Let's go live to the internet and show you our primetime player game. And Paul has been complaining, even though he has no points whatsoever in our year-long contest, that he has had to go second. So, Paul, you will go first.
Okay.
And who's going to get the football on the next play?
Charlie Batch.
No, not unless you're picking him to run.
Go ahead, pick him.
No, I'm not.
See, I'll get another point.
Okay, hold on. Greg Hill. Number 21.
Okay, running back.
Running back.
All right.
Catch. Morton takes the tackle. High stepping across midfield. Gain of 30, and what a move by Johnny Morton.
That's just a bad job of tackling by Donnie Abraham. These guys, they pride themselves, the corners do, on tackling. Run a little somebody out on Johnny, does a good job of selling it. Little in and out move. He tried to tackle him where he wasn't. Charlie Batch has got an exceptional arm. He gets the ball out quickly, but it's a really easy ball to catch. I think Johnny Morton is one of those guys that makes this offense go, but is not featured as a star.
Hill. Paul, you'd have been right on this play, but not on the first one. You are still pitching a shutout for the season on our primetime player game.
I don't get because I'm 0, I don't get 2 first?
No.
Nope.
I don't get a
Joe, it's your turn.
I'm going to go with Greg Hill. I think they're going to run the ball again. I think it's going to be another running play. 2nd down and 6. I like the field. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. It's not going to be Greg Hill. It's going to be Cedric Irvin. They've just replaced him.
All you have to do is say running back.
Okay, running back.
What about fullback?
Gotcha. I got two guys back there.
Batch in trouble, wants the screen, and Derek Brooks was right in the middle of it. Steve White was putting the pressure on Charlie Batch. Well, let's go back to the primetime player game and add up the scores. It shouldn't be too hard since neither one of you got anything. And Joe is up 21-0, but it's early.
I'd like to do this a little later. Can we politic for that?
Yeah, how about like during overtime?
No, the second half.
That was a great play.
Shot at this thing in the second half.
How about the defensive end, Steve White, to get his hands up in the air and knock the ball down?
And if that ball's thrown where it should have been to complete it, Derek Brooks has a shot at a pick. Here comes the blitz. Batch nearly threw the interception to Lynch, who could only get one hand on it. Poor throw by Lynch as Rondé Barber was coming on a corner blitz.
Boy, Rondé Barber he's coming, and then Lynch is right there. This is where Batch has to throw the ball. He's just thrown to a spot. Coming inside the tackle is Rondé Barber. Look at Lynch. He's got the ball all the way. If the ball is thrown on target, Lynch would have had it.
John Jett, 7th in the conference in punting, gets a high snap and hangs a beauty. Fair catch made it to 15. There is a flag down back near where John Jett, the punter, was. A kick of only 23 yards, but inside the 20.
It's going to be holding against Detroit. Well, they sent everybody. Tampa Bay just loaded up and came after the punter.
And the Bucs will have an option of making him kick it again.
Okay. It's one to have a debate about. There's Tony Dungy on the left. And
well, you know, this is a good play by Detroit. If you've got a guy running free that's going to get to the kicker, why not hold him? What difference does it make? You're punting the ball anyway. A 10-yard penalty doesn't mean anything.
We had holding on the offense, number 26. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat, fourth down.
Brock Olivo. National Hockey Night Wednesday on ESPN2 at 7:30, the rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals. Brett Hull and the Dallas Stars host the Buffalo Sabres. Then at 10:30, Eric Lindros and the Philadelphia Flyers head to the Pond to take on Paul Kariya and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC, your exclusive networks of the NHL.
Here they come again.
Big rush, and Jet just got it out of there. That came off the side of his foot, takes a huge bounce in favor of the Lions. And they'll down it at the 1. A 46-yard punt, and Ty Colton is down to get it. And John Jett knows he just got lucky. To go first half, and Joe, if you're calling the plays, what do you call?
I think you take a chance. You know, run a little play action in here, and try and get Riddell Anthony down the field.
Zaire is 9 of 10 so far. Allstott trying to get a little running room, wedges it out to the 2.
I still think you make the Detroit Lions defend the entire field. I can understand the first down play trying to gain yourself a little bit of yards. Now you've given yourself a couple of yards. Good opportunity to try and get the ball up the field, throwing the football. I don't believe you're going to be able to pound your way out of here if you're the Bucs.
The Lions in the last 3 games allowing only 63 yards a game on the ground. They have been solid. Three tight ends in the game. Allstott again across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Just trying to get a little more operating room.
This is one of those spots where you ask your quarterback, he's going to throw the football, which I think they're going to have to. This is where what Eric Zaire talked about. You have to be smart. You have to be decisive. Get the ball out of your hands quickly and make a good throw.
Tony Dungy said last year with Dilfer at the controls, there will be 4 or 5 plays where the quarterback has to do it. It is the same with Eric Zaire. Has to throw on the run and throws it away. Tremendous pressure from the Lions.
excellent coverage in the secondary as well.
I know you got to get him out of there, but I don't like the call because if you're going to take Zaire and roll him out to the right, what you do is you cut this field into a third. And he really doesn't have any place to go. The flow is going to go with him. It's all going to go to that side, and you end up with no one to throw the ball to.
We also talked about the speed of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've got that same kind of speed in the front of the Detroit Lions.
Royals to kick to Awayzake. Bad punt off the side of his foot, and he doesn't get the same kind of bounce. But there is a marker down back at the 2. A kick of only 30 yards.
It's holding against Tampa Bay. They refuse this, baby. That was easy. Do I get a point for that?
We might give you a point for that.
No, we won't.
No. Joe won't.
Joe Marciano can't believe it, the special teams coach.
Well, this is a case of Rawls as a punter, and they're going to give you time down there. They're really not going to come after you down in the end zone at this time of the game. They want to get good field position. He just rushed it.
I would decline this.
Oh,
I wouldn't even think about
Boy, after a 30-yard kick.
Well, the players are over there signaling to Bobby Ross, what should we do? There's no question this should be declined.
Prior to the kick, holding on the kicking team, number 34. Penalty is declined. First down.
.457 to go in the half. Break for the Lions. The Buccaneers have controlled the clock on the Detroit Lions tonight, 3-2, but only have a field goal to show for it. Lions after the 4 punt with great field position. Morton with another catch inside the 30 and a flag down. This could be a face mask on top of it.
It's going to be pass interference. And Johnny Morton does an excellent job of hanging on to the football, even though he got run into just before he caught it.
It would be 2nd and 2 if they accept the play. They take the penalty. It's 1st and 10.
You take the penalty. There's no question. He didn't gain any more yards. The interference is going to be within a yard, if not right on the ball.
Defensive pass interference. Number 21. An automatic first down.
Watch number 21, Donnie Abraham, break on Johnny Morton. Ball comes out. You see Morton come into your picture. Abraham leans on him with his left arm, gets him long before. You got them all locked up. Terrific catch by Johnny.
First down, Lions. Hill, straight up the middle. Running room. 15, 10, to the 3.
Man, did they just stuff everybody in the middle of the field. They double-team Warren Sapp, Compton, Temple, Roberts on the left-hand side. Warren Sapp is number 99. Watch this. You see the double-team there? They also double-team Culpepper, number 77, and that hole is right in the middle, and Hill hits it.
And this is what Bobby Ross talked about when he talked about Greg Hill. He's a straight-ahead runner. You see him not necessarily run away from anybody, but he'll get you those positive yards.
27 on that run, and now Urban is in as this short yardage back. Outside, touchdown! That was only the 2nd touchdown the Bucs defense have allowed after the first quarter all year, and it's the first rushing touchdown they've allowed.
Irvin gets to the outside. Steve White, number 94 for the Buccaneers, says he got held. But look at the blocking. Schlesinger gets an excellent block, and back to the outside, nobody there.
And Dave Sloan, number 86, comes out on John Lynch, locks up on him. Lynch tries to get an outside position, but Irvin was just too quick.
Jason Hanson for the point after. And the Lions continue to surprise the NFC Central. They lead the Bucs 10-3. ESPN's College Game Day, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern at noon. A big one in the Big Ten. Number 20, Ohio State against number 19, Michigan State. Then at 7:30, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame head to Knoxville to take on the 4th-ranked Volunteers of Tennessee over on ESPN 2. We start at noon with Minnesota against number 2, Penn State. Followed at 6, number 24, Arkansas, number 23, Ole Miss. And at 9, Wyoming and Utah. The Big Ten loaded this year. They have been busy beating each other up all season.
Joe, I'll tell you what, old Notre Dame, boy, they just really killed Navy, didn't they?
Well, hey,
Man, what a slaughter.
Navy's a lot tougher than people think. And they proved it. I thought, Notre Dame's going to have to bring their A game going in Knoxville. I'll tell you, the team that I think is the #1 team in the country, Virginia Tech. I don't care what any of the polls say. I've watched them week after week play. Vic, their young quarterback, as a redshirt freshman, is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yo Murphy to receive the Bucks in their history since 1976 have never returned a kickoff for a touchdown. 1,401 returns. Yo would like to put that name in the record book.
Yo's got to return it. He can't stand there in the end zone. Oh, this is not. We're going to get it on the 40-yard line.
Hansen with a critical mistake as he pulls the kickoff. Normally, he puts the ball in the end zone. This time, hooked it and put it out of bounds, and they'll get it 40 or 30 yards from the spot of the kickoff.
The ball will be put in play at the 40-yard line.
That will put it at the 40.
I hit that same shot at the Country Club of Charleston the other day.
Hooked it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
In the water.
You hook everything.
I didn't count that when I took another mulligan.
Jason can't.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I really kind of like this rule where it comes back 30 yards from where you kick the ball and puts it on the 40-yard line. I mean, you're supposed to, as a kicker, kick the ball down the middle of the field.
And we want to see returns. And this is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to generate some kind of passing offense with 3:48 left in the half.
This is their best starting position all night. Warwick done. No place to go, swarmed by the Lion defense again.
Well, Michael, talking to Warwick Dunn, and he's absolutely right. If you take a look at the Lions that time, they had 7 guys in the box and a safety moving up. There's no place to run the football. You've got to go back, play action, do something, and throw the ball.
Well, we talked about the addition of James Jones has really helped Luther Ellis in the middle become a real force. He's the biggest guy they have at 305. And he's not going to be pushed around.
Every one of his teammates has said what a brilliant job he's done. Pressure on Zaire. And he overthrows this one. Intended for Anthony. James, there's Dilfer trying to encourage Eric Zaire. He said he would not make us think about this thing. He didn't like the decision, but he's going to support his teammate. Jones, who had played for Cleveland, Denver, and Baltimore. Just a great anticipation of what is coming on the next play, puts everybody in the right position. He's given them not only the run stopping that they expected, but a big pass rush as well. 3rd and 10.
I think you've got to get the ball to your wide receivers here.
Well, they had to spend another timeout. The play clock was at 1.
That's their last timeout. And when you look at it, Zaire walks up and he looks to his right, the left of the defense, and he sees 4 guys to the outside. And he's trying to, when you point your fingers, you got one. Wait a minute, I don't have enough guys to get this other one out here.
I see a lot of quarterbacks doing that. You come out and you point and identify. And to me, it's a lot of wasted time looking at people who are going to rush instead of allowing the quarterback to focus on who he wants to throw the football to. You've got guys up front and backs who are really responsible for blocking. So let them do their job.
Trent Dilfer became the starting quarterback for this club in 1995. Since then, they simply haven't had much of a passing offense. Partly because it's their philosophy, partly because Dilfer has been so up and down. The best they've been is 26th in the NFL. 3rd and 10. Lions show blitz. They back out of it.
Incomplete, intended for Green. He was covered beautifully by Jerry Fair.
And Luther Ellis brought a lot of heat on Eric Zier that time. As a matter of fact, hit his arm so Zier couldn't make a decent throw.
Consider what the Lions have done this year. They have had multiple injuries. Backups have had to come in and play well. They're playing without Bryant Westbrook again, one of the starting corners. But the backups have come in, played well. Now they're getting the starters back. These guys are going to get better.
And the Lions have 3 timeouts.
Away Kay, a line drive punt from the 19. Lost his footing, got it back, and hurdles to the 37.
The reason why the Bucs, Mike, went away from Trent Dilfer to Eric Zier is he just wasn't able to hit the open receiver. This is a game that we did. That's Bert Emanuel down there just off his fingertips in the end zone. This is Warwick Dunn. The defender falls down last week, and he overthrows him by 5 yards. On the very next play, that is Jaquez Green out of bounds. He makes the throw. You can't do that. I don't care if you're throwing 60% completion. When guys are open, you have to make the plays. That's why he's not playing.
And only 2 years removed from a Pro Bowl. Hill. Culpepper drags him down at the 40.
Well, this was the classic example. These guys talk about, with Warren Sapp, about taking a gap. He took a gap. The linebackers have to fill where he goes. And when that gap on the outside, and you'll see Culpepper come in and make the play. Warren Sapp, he's shaking his head, but he made an excellent play. He went inside. Watch Warren Sapp to the left of your screen, 99. See him go inside? Now watch Culpepper. He'll come back out and make the tackle.
Culpepper, 6'1", 270, has always been undersized, but always done the job. Hill again to midfield, first down Detroit. A gain of 10 for Greg Hill. He is pumped, and so is this crowd of about 65,000. We have reached the 2-minute warning in Detroit. The Lions on top 10-3.
At Transamerica.
Location on Halloween night. We're in Detroit.
Leatherface.
Coming up at halftime, Chris Berman of the Toyota Halftime Report. Chris with the fastest 3 minutes in television, all the highlights, including the Rams-Titans clash, a beauty in Tennessee, and Tiger after lucky number 7.
Well, Tiger ate it up today. I mean, he was unbelievable.
He's just so great. Great to watch, too.
That changes the play. Comes the blitz. And he's swarmed under back at the 42. Damian Robinson, the strong safety, led the charge.
Did you see Damian Robinson? He just left his feet. He dove it back. He wasn't going to run through anybody. He just went airborne. Watch number 24, Damian Robinson. You talk about sacrifice your body. He's going to come right inside. Watch this. In the air, grabs Batch, holds on, gets the sack.
See, but that sack is Charlie Batch. He checked to a quick hitch, a 5-yard route, and he's still holding on to the football. If you check to it, you better get rid of it.
Now it's 2nd and long. Batch under pressure again. Tried to slide. Rondé Barber stuffed him first.
What I don't understand, not take a timeout. You have 3 timeouts. I don't know why they didn't take a timeout after the sack. He still got pretty good field position.
Check in with Solomon Wilcott. Solly, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, right now I'm standing by with the Detroit wide receiver Herman Moore, and he's out with injury. But Herman, why has this team been able to claw its way to the top of the division despite losing a top rusher from Barry Sanders and its top receiver in yourself?
Well, right now the team's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence. I mean, the only way I can explain is that we're playing together. You know, and everybody, we're all on a mission. We have to do what we can do as individuals to make this team better, to make this franchise better. And everybody's playing over and above what we expect out of one another.
What can you say about the maturation of Charlie Batch facing a very tough defense in this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team?
Well, Charlie right now, I mean, he's a very mature young quarterback, and right now he's doing what he has to do to not turn the ball over and to just wait for the defense to come to him. I mean, we're not going to force the issue right now. I'd like to see us go downfield a little bit more, but, you know, that's going to come, and we're going to loosen it up, and he's just going to control the game with the run and then also protect the football.
All right, thanks for joining us. Mike, back to you.
All right, Solomon. Bobby Ross said we are a team. That's the bottom.
bottom line. Catch with time underneath Cedric Irvin. Got it to the 47, but that's going to be well shy of a first down. And Mike Compton trying to throw a block at the end of the play comes up gimpy.
Here's a situation where Tampa Bay, out of all of their timeouts, they could have stopped the clock and had over a minute to do something with the ball.
Yeah, but they had a drive the last time, Paul. It started at the 40-yard line with 3 minutes to go, and they couldn't get anything out of it. Even if they did have their timeouts, this Detroit defense has really shut them down completely.
Last two times that John Jett has punted, they have come after him, and without timeouts, you would think they might try it again.
Especially with it being fourth down and longer than 5 yards. If it was fourth and less than 5, you could get the old running into the kicker and wind up with the first down.
And what you do is you call Jet over and you say, let me explain something to you. Just get it out of there as fast as you can.
Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 7. Mark Malone, Tom Jackson, and Sterling Sharp with all the latest news around the league. Then at 9, it's ABC's Monday Night Football. Mike Holmgren returns to Lambeau as the Seattle Seahawks take on Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime-time NFL football. Boy, you just hope that's a Halloween costume, don't you?
Either that or change the hormone level.
Jaquez Green is back. They put the rush on. Jet didn't get there. Green, fair catch inside the 10.
I don't know if that would be in my list of costumes to take out anytime.
Not mine.
That is not a happy camper. That's Warren Sapp, folks, and he is, you know, I'm serious. He said yesterday he was just smiling. Oh, if you would ever give us 14 points.
And they have already given up more than their average on the ground. Or, excuse me, only 3 yards shy of their average on the ground for an entire game. They came in number 1 in the NFL, but the Lions have played better run defense than they have. That is a proud player and a proud defensive unit.
Taking a knee and getting out of here.
With no timeouts, that's what they are reduced to. At the end of the first half, our score, Detroit 10, Tampa Bay 3. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime.
Or it could get nasty here in the Silverdome.
I hope you enjoyed that tease, the idea by our producer, Fred Godelli, the execution by Mark Teitelman. It was just a brilliant job, guys. Yo Murphy, deep to receive the second half kickoff. Driven 4 yards deep, and he'll take a knee again. The Bucs will start from their own 20-yard line. The Eric Zier era has gone well in terms of percentage of completions and no big mistakes, but only 78 passing yards in the first half for Tampa Bay. A slight edge for Detroit overall. No turnovers for either club. Tampa Bay with an edge in time of possession.
And third downs are atrocious. Converting third downs is 1 of 6, 2 of 7.
These are good defenses, though.
Yes.
Allstott is now the tailback. Patrick Haight, the fullback. Zier to throw. Airs it out. Complete. Hit as he threw. Complete up across the 30. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott.
Yeah, Mike, the second quarter touchdown by Cedric Irving was the first rushing touchdown the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has given up all year long. Now, at halftime, Tony Dungy said he talked to his defense. He says, hey, we've given it up. Now we have to put it behind us and get past it, play much better in the second half. He said here in the second half, he believes that Eric Zier has to make some big plays in the passing game in order for his team to win this football game tonight, Mike.
Solomon, that's the kind of defense they are. They give up 1 in 7 games. They're upset about it. Zier from behind. Clover knocks it loose. Lions have a chance to pick it up, and it's Alan Aldridge. Touchdown. Chris played
Claiborne, the Butkus Award winner, with a huge play, the sack and the forced fumble.
Chris Claiborne, number 50, comes from the outside. Now, I'll tell you something. That is all on Eric Zier. That was another quick hitch, a 3-step drop. He doesn't throw it. He tries to move, and they don't block the outside guy. They just don't block Claiborne. He's all excited about it. Yes, I got one.
Like a lot of rookies, he had to think too much the first few games trying to understand the defensive scheme. He said it was about time he just let it loose and made plays. He certainly made one there. And the Detroit Lions build their lead to 14 thanks to the huge play by the rookie Chris Claiborne.
Make them 5-2 and 3-0 in the division. This would be a huge victory.
They have already beaten Minnesota and Green Bay. If they take the Bucs, what a tremendous start for the team without Barry Sanders. Yo Murphy, 2 yards deep. He'll bring this one out. Cut down at the 17. Ahani Owezike. Joe, let's go back to that sack and the fumble. Whose fault was this?
Well, I want to show you on the Super Straighter. Take a look at the wide receiver up top, okay? He's there. Eric Zier is going to go back. He's got to run the route. When he goes out, he's got to cut the ball loose right now. He can't wait. Zier goes back. The receiver's laid off the ball. He's got to cut it loose. When you recognize the defense and know that you don't have the backside block, you have to get rid of the football. You don't have time to run around back there.
The Bucs are not a big come-from-behind offense. This is what they do best, grind it out. Allstott for a couple.
Allstott this evening has been non-existent.
Only 5 carries, 17 yards total.
Well, they were giving the ball to Warwick Dunn in the first half of the game. And now is not the time to be handing the ball to Allstott.
I still think Mike Schuler's got to put the ball in the air. I mean, that's the only way they're going to make up. This offense has not been high-powered. I think you've got to open it up and cut it loose.
2nd and 8. Draw play, Allstott. Lowers his head and pounds out to the 25. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcott.
Yeah, Mike, Bobby Ross has already gotten his wish here in the second half. Talked to him at halftime. He said the number one thing is he has to continue to put pressure on Eric Zier. So far here, you can see the defense has already done that, getting the fumble return for a touchdown. He believes his defense is winning the battle in this football game tonight.
Solomon, a lot of people said without Barry Sanders and the troubles from last year, Bobby Ross might not survive 1999, but he has shown everybody what he can do with this ball club that has improved its level of talent. The guy is a terrific coach. Movement up front. It looked like Gruber came up early.
Well, that's just offside encroachment, and you can't go that far.
Unless Gruber moved first.
No, Gruber didn't move. Tracy Scroggins.
Zone infraction on the defense, number 97. The 5-yard penalty will make it a first down.
Scroggins, who has had a very good defensive night and getting a lot more playing time.
You know, when you talk about Bobby Ross, you know, talking to him, Joe, he's a changed coach this year. He's got personality. The players said, hey, he's not just a tough guy. He also now listens for our opinions on things.
Zier to Allstott in the flat. Got away from Aldridge. Barrels his way up to the 46-yard line. Paul, when things went bad last year, Bobby Ross, his solution was to work harder and harder, look at more film, do more things. And in doing that, he got away from communication with the players and being around the players.
Well, what he did is he went into his office and he just studied film. He totally stopped going to the locker room and really cut off communication and contact with his football team. He makes it a point now to go down in the locker room, to spend some time with guys, to sit with a Robert Porcher and get a feel for what's going on his football team.
Ward Dunn back in the tailback. Swarmed under back at the 41. Porsche led the charge.
I tell you, Robert Porsche just ran right through Diaz, number 64, and he makes the play. He stops the play initially. Look at him laughing. He said, you know, this is probably a terrific play on my part. Watch this. He stops the play initially, knocks Diaz into Dunn, and then makes the tackle on top of him.
Larry Peccatello, the defensive coordinator, says, look, and you said before, Tampa Bay is not going to throw the football effectively against us. I'm going to get Ron Rice, I'm going to get Mark Carrier up around the line of scrimmage and let them try and run against an 8-man front. They can't.
Allstott is out as the wide receiver. Empty backfield. Dyer hangs onto the ball, hit as he throws. That was intended for his tight end, Dave Moore, but he was under tremendous pressure.
Luther Ellis, number 94.
Boy, you've got to love Luther Ellis. The guy has a great motor. He just comes every play.
Plus, he's the biggest guy up front. I mean, you know, Tracy Scroggins only 270. Robert Porsche only 280. Not necessarily big when you talk about defensive linemen in relative terms.
I love it when only.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, guys in the league now, Warren Sapp, 305.
The Bucks are absolutely the worst team in the NFL on 3rd and long. Shovel pass, done. He will not get the first down, even though he does reach midfield. Zaire comes off. If people are anticipating a poor night by Zaire, might bring Fred Dilfer back. Tony Dungy says, I don't like changing quarterbacks. I do not anticipate changing again. It is Zaire's job to lose. Owezeke back for the punt. A beauty off the foot of Royal. And got a great bounce, kicked out of bounds at the 2. Terrific kick. 48 yards by Mark Royal. He brings back the Coffin corner. Lions, Detroit for the first time in 10 years without Barry Sanders. As brilliant as he was, as good as he might have been in the history of the National Football League, a lot of times he had negative plays. The second most last year for the Lions, 19% of the plays were negative on first down. This year, they are 19th. That's a drastic improvement and an offensive coordinator's friend. Hill, Mahanatu took a shot at him as they get out to the 7.
Wait a minute. Wait. You can think about all the negative things you want about Barry. Every single one of those guys on Tampa, including Tony Dungy, had the biggest smile on their face, knowing that he wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, but I think from Sly Groove's standpoint, the offensive coordinator and Charlie Batches, there were times when he had to get the ball to Barry Sanders 25 times a game. I think that really straps the coach from being able to call his game. Now he has the freedom to get the ball to different players and give Charlie Batch a little more freedom at the line of scrimmage.
That's the throw. Now he's got to try to run. Lost his footing. Gets it out to the 12, 13-yard line. All that said, as he crossed the ESPN 1st and 10 gold line, all that said, even though he would give them negative plays, you had to be so aware of Barry Sanders in your offensive game plan. They would welcome him back with open arms, and there's very little doubt that they wouldn't welcome anybody else back.
But let me tell you something.
Anywhere else in the league.
Bobby Ross might welcome him back, but they would not change their offensive philosophy to accommodate him like they had in the past here. He would have to fit in. He would have to be a part of a third down package catching the ball. He wouldn't get the 25 touches that were guaranteed per game for him. So he'd have to fit into what the Lions are doing.
Hill again.
And they're doing some pretty good stuff right now.
Aren't they
Pounding
ever?
the football right straight at the Buccaneers.
I'd try to fit him in. I'm just telling you, I'm looking. You know, the one thing that Tony Dungy said that I just thought was kind of nice, that he, you know, as much as he's glad he's not here, and I think all the fans across the country miss Barry Sanders.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
miss the excitement that this man brought to football. I do.
And it was a shame the way he went out.
Yeah.
2nd and 4 for the Lions. Hill again.
hard run across the 20.
Let me tell you what these runs have done. You just saw John Lynch come up and make the play. By being able to run the football inside against just 7 defenders, because we know Tampa Bay likes to play their corners up close and safeties back. You're going to force John Lynch up around the line of scrimmage. And in doing so, you're going to get the one-on-ones outside that you want so that you can take some shots with your wide receivers.
3rd and a short 2. Cedric Irvin, the power back, is in. Bucks with a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. Bat, Crowell to the 31st down. Beautifully designed play.
That's what's known as operating in traffic if you're a quarterback. Slide Groom, what they do is they run a little play-action fake. Crowell comes across behind the formation and sneaks out. There he is in motion, little fake. Now go back, little play action, sneak out. But there's a lot of pressure. They had a lot of people at the line of scrimmage trying to get after Charlie Batch.
He got Donnie Abrams going 7 different ways. He didn't know where it was going to end up.
And then he had to get past his own linebackers to get into the cover. Hill. Warren Sapp came into tonight's game as the #1 sack master in the NFL. Back to his old form, had 7 sacks coming in tonight. Now he is tied for the league lead, and he has been pretty well controlled, as has Chidi Ahanotu, Brad Culpepper, and Steve White, that marvelous front 4.
Ahanotu has a sack, I believe, so he's tied with him.
That's right. He was number 2 in the NFL. 14 between them. They show blitz and come with it. And Stabline got his head around just as the ball whistled by him.
Well, I look like, this thing coming to me?
Well, let me just say
this. Going to me?
We saw Eric Zier get sacked and the ball run in for a touchdown because he held the ball. We saw Charlie Batch go back this time, take 5 steps, and cut the ball loose. It's the job of the receiver to get his head around at that 10-yard mark and get the ball.
He joined us late. The Lions on top 17-3. Their defense has scored a touchdown. 5:41 to go, 3rd quarter. That's a strike and dropped by Sloan. Charlie Batch has had a couple to Stabline and to Sloan that should have been catches.
Dave Sloan goes back. He'll release. He's going to run a little corner route. Does a good job of getting outside. Terrific throw. Gets it inside Donnie Abrams. And Damian Robinson comes up and delivers the blow and knocks the ball loose. Oh, what a good throw, Charlie Batch. Boy, Charlie's throwing the ball well all night.
Every time he's on ESPN, he's virtually unstoppable. Jaquez Green. This guy can fly. Drilled out of bounds. That was so close to being a hit out of bounds. He was just creamed after an 18-yard return. We've got a timeout on the field. 17-3. The Detroit Lions on top.
For the Bucks, treat for the Lions. 17-3.
I think you've got to try and throw the ball down the field. I mean, a big play. You can't keep sitting on it.
Draw play. Warwick Dunn. 7 yards.
Sooner or later, you have to attempt the ball down the field. I think the pass interference rules favor the offense tremendously. You can hang the ball up, let your receiver go back and try and make a play. And you know, you got a chance of getting something positive out of it. The Bucks don't even try. I mean, take the ball down the field. You got to try and do that.
Not their game.
They better make it a part of their game or they're going to wind up scoring 6 points, 3 points, and that's not going to win a lot of games.
All stuff. Hit as soon as he got it by Ron Rice
The strong safety might as well have had his hand down in a defensive stance as close as he was to the line.
I'll tell you, Ron Rice, what a great job he does. He fills the hole and makes the play.
Ron Rice, number 28. There he is right there. See him then. Bang. Fill it hard inside. There he comes. Fill the hole, wrap up, and hang on.
3rd down, 2. Zaire got it to Hape, and Hape just has enough for the 1st down.
You know, you just looked at it at one time with the Detroit Lions, their defense. They had 10 in the box. Tampa goes in motion. That takes one guy out. They still had 9 guys from tackle to tackle. And they ran a little play-action pass and get it to the outside.
Again, it's what we talked about at the beginning of the telecast. It's the lack of respect, the lack of fear for the passing game.
They don't care about the passing game.
This is an opportunity where you've got Jaquez Green matched up on Terry Fair. Take your shot.
They throw the out to Green. Almost got away. Fair made a one-hand tackle.
And when you get the one-on-ones that Detroit is giving you outside, when you've got a Jaquez Green against Terry Fair, this is a quick out. If this ball is thrown down a little lower and he doesn't have to get around and square up, maybe he's got a chance to make a move like we saw Johnny Morton make on one earlier in the 1st half for the Lions. Just gets tripped up.
Jaquez Green has got to scare him because he is fast.
Another Florida-Tennessee matchup. We see several of those.
He doesn't scare anybody if he doesn't run down the field.
Zaire complete to the 15-yard line. Green makes the catch. Carrier makes the tackle.
He just ran down the field.
A little bit.
Maybe a little bit. He ran down the field. Now, this is a long pass for Tampa Bay. Jaquez Green on Bailey, number 35. Watch this. He's going to move to the outside. And there was actually double coverage on this play. They just didn't get over.
Now you can run the play-action fake, which gives you the good protection. But a nice, decisive throw. He didn't hang on to it. He saw the receiver, got rid of it.
Zaire, plenty of time, throws, incomplete, knocked away from Riddell Anthony. Terry Fair was right there.
He waited too long to throw this ball and let Fair get in position to knock it down.
Anthony goes down, makes the out cut. Now the ball's got to go. Now the ball's got to go. Hello, where's the ball? You're absolutely right, Paul. But I think a little of this has to do with the fact that Eric Zaire has not played. It's one thing to practice, but when you get in a game, the speed of the game is accelerated.
2nd and 10. Bucks down by 14. Draw, Warwick Dunn. Gang tackled at the 12. Stephen Boyd led the charge.
You know, as much as we talk about getting the ball downfield, and not to belabor the point, but when you look at the Tampa Bay offense, even we talked to Eric Zaire, how much did this offense change when you became quarterback? He said 0. It did not change at all. We're still going to run the same plays we've been running for 6 games.
But what they wanted was better efficiency.
Exactly.
3rd and 7. Zaire to Dunn. Warwick Dunn, touchdown.
That's what you're looking for. In a situation like that, you put 5 receivers out. You get him matched up on Stephen Boyd, the middle linebacker, and you love that. This is exactly the situation the Bucs had last week in the game when you had Warwick Dunn wide open. Here he comes out of the backfield. Boyd's not going to stay with him, gives him a bump. Here comes the acceleration. Not going to happen. You're not going to stay with Warwick Dunn. I don't care who you are.
And that's when we talk about Zaire.
I don't think he's in the end zone.
There's the contact by Boyd.
No, he's not in the end zone. That knee hits the ground before he gets in the end zone.
The ball
Look
should
where
be
the ball
spotted
is.
where the knee hits because he was contacted.
We're going to show
look
you.
where the ball is. His body was extended to the end zone.
Nope.
And the play clock was running out on the point after.
Well, I just let it go.
Why don't you take a look at his knee?
I understand.
Okay.
Look where his knee is, but look where the ball is.
Okay, there's his knee on the ground. That ball is
Now,
nowhere
you're
near
right.
the end zone. That ball is on the 1-yard line. That ball is not in the end zone. There's his knee.
You're absolutely right.
It's got to be at the 1 or outside.
His knee actually is what launches him towards the end zone.
Warren Sapp, he is the biggest offensive fan you can find. He'd love to be ahead so he could chase the passer.
Now the defense has got to do their job.
And they are going to challenge, I believe, the touchdown.
And it will not be a touchdown. See, if Tampa Bay had kicked the extra point, they would not have been able to challenge this.
They only had 10 men on the field. That's why they had to stop the clock.
Well, they're going to wind up having to put 11 back there with first and goal.
Has challenged the ruling on the field. If the Tampa Bay players scored a touchdown, we'll review the play.
Focus on his knee. See his knee right there?
That ball has got to be spotted at the 1.
I'll tell you what, they may spot it at the 1.5. Tony Dungy's on the field.
Well, Tony Dungy, I think, is going to lose another one, even though he didn't make the challenge, but it's going to hurt his club.
Well, you know, I mean, the special teams have not done a very good job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. You've gotten a kick block. You've had punts that have gone 30, 25 yards. Now all of a sudden you've got 10 men on the field, which allows Bobby Ross to come back with a challenge. I would be really shocked if this ball is not spotted at the 1.5 yard line.
And a tremendous effort by Warwick Dunn to extend himself, but just couldn't keep his balance after Stephen Boyd nipped his legs.
Keep in mind the replays that they'll be looking at are the same ones that we have seen.
They have 90 seconds once they go under the hood. Then the screen goes black. Another angle.
Right there. Knee is on the ground. I think he's going to spot it on the 1.
But this will be a first down if they do spot it. So they'll have 4 downs.
Right there.
Right
1.5, perhaps?
I'm thinking 1.5.
Yep. 1.5 yards has been awfully begrudging to give up by this Detroit Lion defense tonight.
And there has not been a single replay that we have seen that would indicate it's a touchdown. Every one of them shows it short.
Here he comes. And Tony Dungy is going to be livid.
After review, the runner's knee was down while the ball was at the 1-yard line. It'll be first and goal for Tampa Bay. Detroit will not be charged with a timeout.
Tony Dungy can be mad, but once he sees this, he's going to realize what happened. It's his special teams that allowed this to happen.
So the touchdown is taken off the board. It is 17-3 again, and it will be first and goal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, can't be very proud of his unit tonight.
Well, you know, and the sad part about it is you know that these guys work every day on special teams. There's a special session
but
to get your guys on the field.
But guys tend to not pay particular attention to special teams.
Well, then you find them.
Or get rid of them.
Hello.
Well, you guys are cool.
First and goal, and the crowd here is just going nuts.
Of all the venues I played in the National Football League over 15 years, I can tell you that this is, when these people get going, and I don't care if they're 65 or 80, the way this dome is constructed, it is the loudest place I have ever played in. The guards cannot hear what you say. You basically move off a field down there with the center.
That was the first time this year Bobby Ross has challenged a call under the instant replay system, and he wins it, and temporarily at least, a touchdown comes off the board. How big a play was it by Stephen Boyd to keep hustling?
I'd run play action right now.
Allstott.
Stephen Boyd. Stephen Boyd, you talk about filling a hole by a linebacker. He's the guy that saved the touchdown. Now watch him stop another one. And I'm going to tell you, Allstott is a load.
Stephen Boyd, number 57. He's going to come in and fill.
Watch this, folks.
Watch him go flying.
Everybody up front does their job. And then Stephen Boyd finds Allstott and nails him.
I think now is an excellent time to run some play action. It's second down. You've got third to pound it if you want.
Pound the big guy.
Movement up front.
Man.
That will cost the Bucs 5 yards. I'm sure Tony Dungy can't believe it.
Robert Porcher is in the end zone telling the people, don't stop.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Patrick Haight.
You know, they were going to run a rollout. Play action pass rollout is what they were going to run.
Good call.
They may have to run it here, but they're not going to get a chance in the third quarter. The Detroit Lions have them fired up on Halloween. And the Goblins are playing with the Bucs offense. Quarter, Lions on top 17-3. The Bucs with a 2nd and goal. Allstott breaks the tackle, fumble, and the Lions have it.
This is really a case of trying to do too much. Allstott can't get to the end zone. He's got the ball almost to the 1. Look at here. And then they just take it away.
Took on the 260-pound Mike Allstott with his shoulder. Not only did he make the tackle, but he helped force the fumble. And the Lions get the ball back deep in their own territory. Bucs show blitz, and they come. Did they come too early, or did Jeff Hardings move?
Everybody pointing at everybody else.
Hardings moved.
Charlie Batch with the hard count to try and buy himself a few yards. Get up there with the old hut.
If the defensive lineman enters the neutral zone and forces the offensive lineman to move, it's on the defense.
Yeah, but they didn't, and Hardings moved, number 64. But where are you going to penalize him anywhere? You can't put a half an inch. Look, the ball is almost touching the goal line.
Boy, and the Bucs are going after that safety, too.
Neutral zone infraction. On the defensive team who came in the neutral zone, caused the offense to false start. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Tony Dungy hasn't caught a break all night.
Well, Tony Dungy has been noted for his sideline demeanor of being calm and quiet, but this continues to challenge every emotion he has. He only had to buy 54 tickets.
That's right.
So you got a lot of people out here, too.
Nearby Jackson, Michigan. A lot of family and friends here. So breathing room for the Lions. Now Hill straight up the middle. Huge run by Hill. Damian Robinson had to make the saving tackle. Starting from the 1-foot line, they're now in Bucs territory after a 46-yard run.
You know what was really neat about after this play was over with, they're going to double team Warren Sapp. And Hill just hits the hole quickly. Watch this, the double team on Sapp. Look at the hole. They drive down inside. That's Harding. But when they do that, and Hill makes this run, as the offensive line, Joe, came up the field, they all got together and high-fived each other.
They did a terrific. They should have. And I'll tell you another guy, Schlesinger should have been there, too, because he got a super block on Quarles.
Cedric Urban comes in. Batch under pressure. He scrambles.
slides in front of Nickerson. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Buy.com, the Internet Superstore. Why buy anywhere else? By the St. Paul, insurance for business without question, the St. Paul. By Isuzu, we don't make cars because life is too big for cars. By Quaker State, for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. And by Lee Dungarees, can't bust them. Batch, chased by Ahanitu, throws incomplete, intended for Staveline. There is a flag down in the middle of the field. In the secondary.
That's going to be defensive holding. Good play-action fake by Charlie Batch.
Holding, defense number 55. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Derek Brooks, the all-pro weak side linebacker, called for the hold.
That's the first time we've really heard of him tonight. I mean, this offense of the Lions has done a terrific job of their play-action faking. Sly Kroom doing a nice job of mixing up the 1st and 10s, throwing the football as well as running it.
An offensive line that lost their top draft pick before the season started. Aaron Gibson on IR. These guys have really come together. Here comes the blitz. Batch. Very fortunate that he had time to throw that away. He double clutched a couple of times. Coming up next on SportsCenter, Dan Patrick and Rich Eisen will be along to catch you up on the day in sports, the NFL's Week 8. Then there were none. Our Sunday conversation, the Big Cheese is back in Green Bay, and Tiger puts on a performance at the Tour Championship, followed by NFL Primetime, Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. All the highlights of all the day's games. Lynn Settles has to have enjoyed this one. Charlie Batch's mom has seen the Lion offense break out, seen the defense play well, special teams as well. Batch in trouble this time. He is drilled by Tyoka Jackson. The backup defensive tackle gets his first sack of the season.
And Charlie Batch, through the early part of this year, has really taken a pounding.
Well, there's a deal on the outside, Joe, and Tyoka Jackson comes inside, but this is a coverage sack again because he wanted to go to the outside. Watch Charlie Batch. He wants to throw out there. The coverage is there. He can't throw the ball, and by this time he doesn't have time. Look at Jackson comes inside. They didn't pick up the blocking.
The last game was the first time this year he was not sacked. Shovel pass to Irvin. Cedric Irvin steps over one tackler and goes to the 31-yard line.
What sweet feet that was. What a terrific hesitation, little stop and go on Rondé Barber.
And he wanted more.
Little shovel pass. Batch starts to his left, flips the ball to Irvin. Watch the moves of his feet right here. Right over Rondé Barber. A little step over, picks up 5 more yards.
The Lions send on Jason Hanson. He will try from 50. Had hit earlier from 47 with plenty of extra distance. Hanson may be the best kicker in pro football.
We've got 2 of them here. Martin Gramatica is a heck of a little kicker as well.
That's just for balance. It has nothing to do with Zen.
Has a lot to do with 3 points, though.
Another perfect kick from 50 yards. He makes the 50-yarders look like they're from 20. Michigan on November 17th, 1991, Lions guard Mike Utley suffered a neck injury that left him paralyzed from the chest down. But while leaving the Silverdome, his thumbs-up gesture was just the beginning of the fight he would wage. Utley continues to engage in physical activity, and last February defied the doctors and the odds by taking his first steps. Mike is here tonight, and he's with our Solomon Wilcox.
Yeah, Mike, I understand you took your very first steps last February since sustaining the injuries 8 years ago. Where are you now in your quest for a complete and full rehabilitation?
Well, right now I'm working down at the University of Miami, the biofeedback, continue working with Dr. Brucker and Nat, Blair McCaney and Gold's Gym in Wenatchee, Michael Hansen with the Biosports, and Dr. Jason Schroeder, my chiropractor. Everyone I put around me all is taking steps towards me finally walking off that.
Now, the Mike Utley Foundation is dedicated to finding a cure for spinal cord injuries. Where is the foundation in its quest to really get things done and make a difference?
Well, first of all, we're having golf tournaments, we're having apparel such as this right here for Thumbs Up, and also we're getting people involved. You know, if they want to, come out and help, it's 1-800-294-4683. People can get out involved, and let's make something happen.
Now, I understand you left this field 8 years ago on the stretcher, but I understand that you plan on returning to this field and leaving it in a quite different manner.
Well, that's very true. I told myself my first year in the NFL that I'd never be carried off the football field, and I was. I promised myself one day, with Mr. Ford and the rest of the Detroit Lions to give me encouragement, I will walk off this football field and close one chapter in the book of Mike Utley.
Well, Mike, we're all pulling for you, and we wish you the best. Back to you, Mike.
Solomon, thanks very much. And, Mike, we'd love to be here the day you walk off this field.
Hear, hear.
Zaire with a lot of points to make up and not a lot of time to do it. Done. Can't get away from Campbell. Nice tackle around the ankle.
I think the Tampa Bay offense has got to move with a little speed now, and I like the way they're getting to the line of scrimmage. Time is as big a factor as the score is, so as many plays as they can run as quickly as they can will help them out.
Zaire 17 out of 23, 174 yards. Done again, this time to the 30. This is not a fourth quarter comeback team, period. These guys don't come from behind very well, not with this conservative offense. 9-25 when tied or trailing after the third quarter.
You need Mike Shula's offense has got to get some balls down the field. They need 17 points just to tie this thing. And you just can't do it by nickel and diming your way down the field with Warwick Dunn. He's going to have to force one in sooner or later.
I just saw him look at that card he's got with the offense. That's thrown it out the window. He's doing very well.
Mostly what it says on it is all thought and done.
Yeah.
They only got 6 points a week ago. They won that one 6-3, but only 3 so far tonight.
You know what the natural tendency is? I mean, Trent Dilford caught an awful lot of heat for their inability to put points on the board. And Warwick Dunn put it so well. It isn't just the quarterback.
No.
Trent Dilford completed 60% of the passes. Yes, he's missed some opportunities. But this offense, in its either conception, design, or execution, just can't produce points.
They run out of a 4 wide receiver set to get the first down, and it looks like they have it.
And Tony Dungy told us yesterday and reminded us of 2 of the losses that they've had this year. They've had the lead, and the defense gave it up.
Yeah, with Green Bay game we did. They had to try and stop Brett Favre, which is a yeoman's task.
Yeah, good luck.
And Rich McKay, the general manager, I mean, you've got to find some people who can get down the field and make some plays. They've got to get more than a dump-off for work done.
Another short pass as they try to hit Dunn out of the backfield again. Bailey on the coverage that time.
And not to belabor a point, but Warwick Dunn said it to us yesterday. He said, I said something. I stepped up and I said something. I'm not a vocal person, but I did say something. I had to elevate my game, and everyone else along that line, and an entire offense has to. They're not getting production from anybody.
The other question about the Bucs, how good are these wide receivers? The blame falls on the quarterbacks, but can these guys go downfield and get the ball? They don't know that yet.
They haven't tried.
Zaire dropped. That's the rookie, Darnell McDonald. 7th round draft choice out of Kansas State.
Well, one of the things it has to take place, Joe, if you want to go down the field. You got to have some pass protection. You got to have guys that are going to block up front and give this guy time to throw the ball.
That time he did. Now,
he did.
Now all of a sudden you get a receiver that can't keep his feet.
There's Bert Emanuel, who is out with an injury. Carl Williams, another counted on wide receiver, out with a sprained right foot. So they do not have all their offensive weapons.
And with only seven receptions out of Bert Emanuel, he's really been a non-factor all year.
Here comes the blitz. Zaire with good protection, intended for Yo Murphy. A flag is down. They're going to get J.B. Brown for cutting off the route.
Well, let me tell you, that's what you have to do. I'm telling you, the rules favor the receivers having a chance to get an interference call or make a play.
Defensive pass interference. Number 31. First down.
All right. This is what happens when you get your right arm in there. Look at his right arm. That doesn't allow the receiver, Yo Murphy, to get to the ball.
You can turn your head, right, Paul? But you can't stick your arm out.
You can't stick your arm out and stop the guy.
Bobby can't believe it.
And that was the second biggest play that Tampa Bay has had tonight, an 18-yard penalty. Zaire throws as he's falling back, incomplete. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with the matchup of top teams in the AFC. Eddie George and the Tennessee Titans head to Miami to battle Zach Thomas and the Dolphins. Join Joe, Paul, and me right after prime time at 8:15 Eastern. 6-1 against 6-1 after the Titans knocked off the undefeated Rams today. Miami wins another big game.
Steve McNair back, played very well coming back off that injury.
I can't wait to see Zach Thomas and Eddie George collide.
It won't take long. Zaire under pressure. The relentless Luther Ellis. Throw to the sideline, and it's complete to Murphy, who came back to get it at the 45.
You know, I'm telling you, you got 5 offensive linemen that are blocking 4 defensive linemen, and they can't even slow them down. Eric Zaire's back there running for his life. Watch this. Watch this whole thing collapse on him. Here they come. He's got to back up. Look at the blue shirts. The white ones are in front. The blue ones are where the white ones are supposed to be.
Larry Peccatello has crafted quite a defense. They're coming the blitz that time, can't get there, and Zaire can only throw it away. Robert Porcher right in his chest. Porcher said something interesting the other day when we were meeting with him. He said it took a while for us to buy into Bobby Ross's philosophy, to buy into what he was trying to do. All of us looked at each other and said, why do players always say it took a long time to buy into his philosophy? He's the coach. Why don't you go with it at the beginning?
Because players think they have the answers. Instead of just trusting the coach, they think they know it better than he does. Now this team trusts one another because they know that they're without a Barry Sanders and a Herman Moore, and they trust the coach's philosophy.
And Zaire has to use the timeout. The play clock was at 2, and he wasn't going to get the 4th down try off. Back to the Silverdome after this. Lions on top, and if they hold this lead, they will go to 5-2, take over first place, pending tomorrow night's game at least in the NFC Central. Go 3-0 in the division, and what a show it should be tomorrow night in Lambeau.
I can't wait to see this game because Holmgren coming back and with the Seattle team, and Seattle is a good football team. John Kitna is playing quarterback as well as anybody in the National Football League.
And I think Brett Favre has something to prove. Anytime the teacher leaves and the pupil's still there, the pupil wants to prove that he has learned what the teacher has taught him, and maybe he has a few tricks of his own that Mike didn't get a chance to see.
4th down, the Bucs have to make it to keep their hopes alive. 9:15 to go in the game. They need 3 scores.
Now you get the ball to Warwick Dunn.
Here comes the blitz. And it's incomplete. Intended for Yo Murphy. He was covered in the flat, though, by J.B. Brown. We'll be back to the Silverdome in a moment.
Where is my magazine?
Subscribers to ESPN the magazine, including Marcus Camby, really look forward to each new issue. They love the magazine and their free ESPN the magazine windbreaker. It's wind and water resistant with an embroidered ESPN the magazine logo and a zip front pocket. So call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues a year's worth for just $1 an issue. 66% off the newsstand price. And our ESPN the magazine windbreaker is free.
Hey, man. That's my ESPN the magazine. Go order your own.
Mr. Camby?
Call now for ESPN the magazine and your free windbreaker. 1-800-672-5353.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting instructional video. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tommy Nancy and the same techniques that produced his back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Collegiate Baseball Magazine's editor calls it a masterpiece, the best drill video ever produced. This video is endorsed by top professionals like superstar Fred McGriff.
This is an instructional video that gets results.
The Defensive Drills video benefits players of all ages and ability levels and makes a great gift, too, so call now.
It's an ESPN Sunday Night Football melee in Miami. The Fish trying to fry Eddie George in the Titans. Titans-Dolphins, Sunday at 8:15 on ESPN.
Color me excited.
The Lions on the verge of winning 5 of their first 7, lead at 20-3 over the Bucks. Detroit takes over at its own 45-yard line. Hill, another big hole up the middle. 10, 12, 13 yards.
Boy, those guys up front have owned the Tampa Bay front four. You take a look at Roberts and Semple, number 72 and number 62. All night long, number 99 gets double teamed. Again, you'll see Greg Hill go up the middle. They just keep double teaming Warren Sapp. They just figure if you can take Sapp out, you can take the heart out of this defense. And it's working. Huge games. We just saw one on the last play.
The Bucks defense came in number 1 in the NFL against the rush, 69.5 yards. 151 for the Lions tonight. Lynch comes up in a hurry. He and Steve White make the tackle on this run.
They've really worked on Warren Sapp tonight. He's been really ineffective. They've double-teamed him 17 of the 32 plays. Run at him 14 times for 90 yards, but he's been double-teamed on all of those. 3 tackles, just 1 quarterback hit.
And when he's double-teamed, somebody else has got to make a play.
You bet. I mean, this defense is designed for each guy to take a gap. And if you don't take yours and you got 2 guys blocking him, somebody else behind him, the linebackers are supposed to make the tackle.
But they've been blocked as well. This front line of the Lions has played really well.
They have really more than doubled the rushing yards. And right now, they don't care if they get much more, just eating up the clock, approaching 7.5 minutes. Bobby Ross said one thing interesting a couple of weeks ago. People were asking him who was going to be in contention for the NFC title, and he says, why not us? There is not a dominant team out there right now in the NFC, certainly with St. Louis losing today. And Bobby Ross knows he has a pretty good ball club.
And with the job he has done with all the people that have been hurt, Stephen Boyd just came back.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Abrams is still out. Owens is still out. Bryant Westbrook is still out. I mean, the list goes on. He's creating depth now as the season goes on by having the guys step up.
Batch. Schlesinger to the 35-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down. Rondé Barber on the cover.
You know, we've been talking about Warren Sapp, and he is so frustrated. I mean, that time he goes by. They just pushed him right on by Charlie Batch, and they had 2 guys on him again.
Here's a coach that has supreme confidence in the way his defense has been playing. It's 4th and 2. You've got a 17-point lead. It's a little bit out of your kicker's range. Go for it.
I don't know if it's out of Jason Hansen's range. They're still in the building.
I'm just saying, maybe that's what he thought of. I agree with you guys. I think it's definitely in his range.
I think he believes he can get the first down. Not anymore. Barrett Brooks, the right tackle, came up early, and that should cost them 5.
Well, Barrett Brooks put his hand down, and once you put your hand down, you can't pick it back up again. He put his hand down and picked it up and looked at the quarterback.
False start offense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Now they'll kick it.
They tried a couple of different guys at right tackle the last 2 weeks. Brooks has played very, very well and has claimed that job.
Watch you see his hand down. Now he's going to take a look. What are you talking about? Whoops. He's getting ready to pull.
That is the first penalty against the Lions offense tonight. That's how mentally ready they have been for this. Jet to punt to Green. The Bucs, everybody else on the line of scrimmage. And they're coming. Jet hangs a beauty up near the rafters. 36 yards, no return. Ty Towton down to catch it inside the 5. The Lions have been superb.
He earned it as a defensive coordinator. Since he's been the head coach since 1996, they have allowed the fewest points in the NFL. Unfortunately for Tony Dungy, his offense has scored the second fewest points in the NFL, and that's why he is about to drop one game under 500 for his career as the Bucs head coach. Zaire, did he make it out or not?
He made it out.
They'll always give you the advantage. I mean,
don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I mean, the refs do a good job of getting close. Man, that nose of that ball could not be any closer.
It looked like it landed on the goal line.
It still looks like it's on it. Here comes the pressure. Now he steps up. He steps up. And that, no, the ball's on the line.
Right on the goal line.
The ball's on the goal line. It's on the goal line. He's on the ground, and then he moves the ball. That's a safety. Why challenge this one, Bobby? If he challenged it, he'd have a safety.
Zaire out of his end zone. Boyd is there to prevent the rookie Darnell McDonald from getting enough for the first down. Tony Dungy, I think, is one of the finest coaches in the National Football League, and he is certainly one of the nicest people you would ever want to meet. He's got to do something about his offense.
Well, he changed his approach to his football team this year. He's gotten upset with them. He's yelled at them. He's yelled at coaches for not having the proper things drawn up on scout cards. I mean, he's really tried to go at it in a more stern way.
Well, Joe, you know, you look at teams in the National Football League who are successful. When you talk about the Detroit Lions losing a number of people, but they put backup people in there. When you look at Tony Dungy's team on offense, who are you going to put in as a backup player to play?
Well, you can't.
Thank you.
The other thing in this day and age of the salary cap, if you have a great defense, that usually means you spent a lot of money on your defense, and there's not a lot to go around to improve the offense.
How about this? They're going to go for it.
Well,
they've got to.
Well, we got into this discussion with Brian Billick, coach of the Ravens, last week. The Ravens have a lot of money invested in their defense.
That's right.
Very similar to what we see with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
With 4:16, exactly. With 4:16 to go in the ball game, they need 3 scores.
But I'll say this, the number 1 and number 2 ranked defenses in the National Football League last year, Tampa Bay and San Diego, didn't even make the playoffs. You need point producers on offense.
Allstott jammed up and then fights his way forward for a first down near the 15. With the way the Bucs defense has thrived and their offense has struggled, we asked Warren Sapp if the team could be divided if a change wasn't made.
Yeah, it was a real good chance, no doubt about it. When you go out in the ball game and you go out and do what we did last Sunday, then there's a real potential of losing the game 7-6. Then some feelings were going to get hurt if we lost that ball game. I have no question about that.
Dunn got it up to the 22. Again, dink and dunk when you need 3 scores.
To a lot of
3:17 to go.
A lot of credit to Tony Dungy keeping his locker room as one instead of being divided. I think what Warren said is a natural tendency. But the other thing that you have to understand is, as Paul mentioned, this defense has brought what Tony perceives given up a couple of leads. Tonight, it really has been the special teams that have let them down. And, again, the offense putting the ball on the ground with the scores.
You know, we talked to Favre about a 2-minute drill, and basically that's what Tampa's in, but they're down by 17 points. And he said the one thing about a 2-minute drill or whatever you're doing is to move the chains. Well, when you're down 17 points, you got to put some points on the board. You can't be throwing 3-yard patterns or 6-yard patterns and have the clock move on you.
Either that or the Detroit Lions secondary is as good a secondary as has ever been put together. Now, they're playing well, and they're throwing the shutout that way.
Well, the 4 guys up front are the guys who are doing it. They are just, Zaire has no chance.
McDonald, jump ball knocked out of bounds by J.B. Brown. I'll tell you one thing, that front 7 of the Detroit Lions is going to rival a lot of people. They're good.
Well, the big thing is, though, Mike, if you can get it done with the 4 guys up front, just those 4 guys, and that's what they've been getting it done with. These guys have been in the face of Zaire every time. Now, unless they put in an offense where Zaire has a 25-step drop, then I think he's going to have time to throw the ball.
And we just saw a picture of Larry Peccatella, who has moved from the booth down to the sidelines this year to call plays. He feels he's a little closer to it. Plus, his mom wanted to see what he was doing. We never shot the booth much, and she was wondering if he was really working.
This one complete, another short game. Incidentally, Warrick Dunn with 10 catches tonight, a career high. He has 37 for the season. He is the leading receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Can't be. You've got to get some wide receivers involved somehow in making plays down the field in this offense, even if you have to force them.
Dunn with his 11th catch of the night, forced out of bounds to stop the clock. Hey, check it, Yo Murphy.
Yo, you've been wanting to say Yo Murphy, except on a kickoff return tonight. Yo,
and I missed it.
No, we did. We got him on a pass interference penalty. What a great name, Yo Murphy. Yo Sapp. Sapp is mad.
Tough night for Warren Sapp and that very proud Bucs defense.
A lot of yards rushing given up. They got gashed. Right up the middle, they got gashed tonight.
Dunn, greeted by a team picture of the Lions defense.
I found it interesting, too, when we had a chance to sit and visit with Robert Porcher. I said, what's the difference in this football team this year? And he said, we've got better football players. We're better defensively than we were. He talked about Kelvin Pritchett. He talked about James Jones being added. Those 2 guys on defense have made a world of difference.
James Jones has been huge for this ball club. 2-minute warning, back after this.
Now you can access the internet via satellite with DirectPC. At up to 400 kilobits per second, it's the fastest access available nationwide. And right now, get DirectTV and DirectPC all on one dish. So get connected today.
Ernest. Yeah, and I like that name because it means honesty. You see what I mean?
Right, that was the name I was thinking about naming my son Christopher before he was born.
Backed by popular demand, psychic and spiritual leader Sylvia Brown displays her incredible psychic powers, playing this month on Direct Ticket. This star of sold-out lecture events and New York Times bestseller will conduct readings and lecture. Don't miss psychic and spiritual leader Sylvia Brown this month on Direct Ticket.
Say you're going to miss your...
Lions would go to 5-2 overall, 3-0 in the division. That would give them wins over Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and Minnesota in their division, and a huge leg up on a shot at the playoffs.
All of them here, though. They're going to have to travel to each of those cities to play on the road yet, so it's always good to get them when you can at home.
Zaire downfield, incomplete.
Well, they only had 4 guys covering Jack Les Green.
Ooh.
Huh?
Ooh, that's ugly.
That's a little grim, isn't it?
That's ugly. That looks like the inside of one of those steaks you ordered, Paul. I'm telling you, that's what they look like. We were talking about Barry Sanders, too. The one thing that his teammates didn't understand is that he never came to them and told them what he did. That's the only thing that's disappointing about it to them. They expected him to retire next year, not this year.
Murphy trying to get the first down and does. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Ice House. Ice brewed for that never watered down taste. By Dell Computer. Be direct. Dell. By Fidelity Investments. By Rolaids. Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief. And by UPS, the official express delivery sponsor of the NFL. This has been a 12-play, 2-minute drive. The longest gain has been 7 yards. Comes the blitz. Murphy in the flat. Brought down by J.B. Brown.